One of the most important parts of the game is that we want to make anyone feel like they can be an artist.
Sure, now this has been something that's been on my mind since Paris. You're gonna look me in the face and tell me this isn't an Infamous tie-in, that this isn't Delsin. Literally the same red hat, he's got a bag on, he's doing graffiti. You just ripped off Sucker Punch and everybody knows it.
I knew you were going to do that, Greg. You know what? It's completely coincidental. And when we showed the trailer at Paris Games Week, I actually got an email from Nate Fox teasing me about that as well.
Yeah.
And so I had to assure him that it was completely coincidental as well.
I say you lean into it now. It's just an Infamous prequel.
There is that option.
Yeah, right? Give up all your dreams of the game you're trying to make. Shove it into this.
You know, it genuinely was completely coincidental. When you're making a game, you go through so many revs and iterations on the character. And we just ended up with here for a lot of other reasons. He used to have a blue hat, and I think when we changed it to a red hat, it suddenly became
That's when it happens.
Evocative of Delsin, yeah.
All right, so what is happening right now? We're just painting?
Yeah, so we use the motion controls in the DualShock 4 pad, and so you can see Jing motioning there. And you have these selection of brushes that you find as you play through the game. And we call this living paint. And the goal is to take any of the marks and the gestures that you make in the world and grow them into something beautiful. And a big part of our player fantasy is making sure that anybody who plays the game can feel like an artist. I can't draw at all in real life, but in this game, you know, I can pull something together that looks half decent.
Was that a concern when you got going, right? Like, what was the original iteration? Mm-hmm. Was it freehand painting, and then you're like, oh, well, what about the people?
Yeah, that's a good question. So this is actually the third iteration on the painting mechanics that we've had in the game. And we realized that getting the right balance between agency and assistance, so that whatever you do, you feel like you made it, but what do we add to that through the technology that we've built to make it something beautiful, but you have to still feel like you did it.
Sure.
And so this is where we've ended up, and we're really happy with how it's turned out.
How long have you guys been working on it?
Quite some time.
Yeah?
We have been on this now for nearly 3 years. And so it's a labor of love that's kind of been coming together slowly but surely. And you know, we're a very small team. That's the other thing. And
how many people?
There's 14 people on the team. And we have a couple of other contractors and interns, depending on what part of the process we're in. But it's very small, and that's why iteration on a small team is the most important thing. But it's a different type of process.
I believe it. So then, we're showing the painting right now, but how does this get used in the gameplay? Is it a puzzle game? Like, how do you describe it?
So it's a third-person action adventure, and later on next year we're going to be showing more of the action elements in the game.
Okay.
But because this is such a pivotal thing, and one of the most striking things about the game, we wanted to kind of get out there with this first. And there are puzzle-solving mechanics in there. And in a little bit, Jing is actually going to go around the corner and start painting creatures, which is another really important part of the game. And the story and the theme of the game is about bullying. And one of the reasons that these creatures are so important is that they're the friends that Ash wished he had in real life. And they have a really important gameplay function as well. And depending on how you paint the creatures, the colors that you use, they have different abilities. And that's really where the puzzle solving comes in. So if you paint a red creature, for example, it will have fire abilities, and then you can go and solve fire puzzles.
Gotcha.
If you paint it with yellow, it will have electricity powers and things like that.
Is there going to be just a canvas mode, like a relaxed mode, to jump in and not worry about the story or not doing that?
We are looking at that. I think that's a great thing to have in there, so that people can just go and completely relax.
Sure.
Because the bullies actually exist in the world as AI, and they have an important part to play in how you're able to paint as you go through the world. And so having some way to just sit there and relax and just chill out and do whatever you want is a good part of it.
Now, when we were backstage talking, you blew my mind. So Pixel Opus is a first party.
Right.
You're actually working out of the San Mateo office.
That's right. Yeah, so tucked away, hidden on the back floor of one of the floors in the global headquarters is Pixel Opus, and we're the only development that's happening there. So we're kind of flying under the radar, but we get to kind of make our own creative IP, which is quite a unique situation.
Shuhei, that means you're their boss.
It does.
No, Connie Booth is their boss, and Scott Rowdy is Connie's boss.
But we all know Scott Rowdy doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? For for you, Shu,
Yeah.
why was this a game PlayStation wanted to get behind? Why was this a game you wanted them to make?
Oh yeah, so they, after they finished the Entwine, they came up with the wall flow concept, ideas, sketches, and I was let in to see all of the different concepts, and this concept stood out, and I was like, well, I can see, I'll be playing this game, and Dom and the team said, well, everybody picked the same concept. Right.
That was an unusual moment. Like one of the things that happened when we kind of are in our dream phase is we came up with 10 different concepts for a game, and we go through an exercise where we imagine the gameplay and the story, and we do a little one sheet where we try and picture it as a finished product. And then we do a bunch of supporting artwork and prototypes to try and figure that out. And when we came to the idea for this game, which actually came from our VFX artist, Ashwin, the boards were like 5 times longer, there was loads more to talk about, and you could actually imagine it as a gameplay experience, which is obviously the most important thing.
So that's something we glossed over in that conversation there, but Entwined was the studio's first game.
Yes.
At the time, who was making up the staff of the studio? Because you guys had brought in a bunch of students, right?
That's correct, yeah. So everybody on the team were graduates from different academic gaming programs in the States. We had the original 6 were from the Carnegie Mellon Entertainment Technology Center, and then we had another couple of students from the San Jose State's animation and illustration program as well. And then it was myself and Jeff Sengali, who I think is over there somewhere, art director.
Yeah, so the group of very talented, young, passionate people, and 2 mentors.
The old men, the 2 old people there to make sure these kids knew what they were doing.
Right, and then after we did Entwined, we knew that if we were going to carry on making games that were investing in a message and were trying to make an emotional connection, we wanted to do it in a genre and at a scale that was easier to access. And we all love third-person action-adventure games, so we thought this would be a great platform in order to kind of make something that was imaginative and a bit different, but was maybe a bit easier to get into than Entwined was.
When you start this studio and bring in all these young folks who are super ambitious and ready to go, but green as hell, are you thinking it's going to work? Are you panicking that this could easily blow up in your face?
In this case, no. The interesting thing is, when I was at school, there were no courses that you could do that would teach game development. There just was nothing you could do academically to get you ready for making games. And so when I started a long, long time ago, everything was learned on the job.
Yeah.
And what we found when we were going to these different academic programs is that the tools and the kind of the abilities and knowledge that they had just from their studies was equivalent to what I was getting 5 years into the job.
Wow.
So they were actually teaching us stuff on how, the best way to kind of put things together. And we run the team with a completely flat hierarchy. So it's been a really interesting, lively collaboration at all times, basically. And we've added a few more senior people, to kind of help increase our capacity and ambition and scope as well. But we always maintain that kind of young part of the workforce, just to make sure that one of the main missions of the group is to make sure that people have an amazing start to their time in the games industry. And
that's
so
awesome. That's a great mission statement to have for the group.
Mm-hmm.
So then, to wrap it up, put a pin in Concrete Genie. We're going to see more of it in 2018, obviously.
Yes.
See the action-adventure side of it.
We're going to be out next year.
But there is more to it than just the painting, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm tranquil right now.
Yeah.
The music is good. The art is beautiful. But there's a game to it there that's actually going to challenge you.
Absolutely, yeah. There is an action-packed third-person adventure in there as well. And we're just kind of pacing out how we reveal that to everybody over the next few months.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming by. Did you guys like it? That's Concrete Genie. Oh, right. Oh, now you're sure about this, right?
I'm pretty sure.
He's pretty... All right, so here's what we're going to do.
Somebody stop me.
We're going to tell... No, there's no one to stop you. That's why the promise. This is a shirt for Concrete Genie.
We got these today, This is our first crew shirt. It's the first Concrete Genie shirt, and we love them. It's designed by our character illustrator, Lansing, on team, and we thought it would be awesome if we gave one to everybody here tonight.
But again, to be clear, he's saying that, and no one told me to say that. So is it going to happen? I don't know. Don't get mad if you leave and there is no shirt. There's probably a shirt, but who knows?
I'm pretty sure there is.
You're pretty sure there's shirts?
Yeah.
All right, then. When you leave, oh, you got one. You didn't even leave yet. Did you steal that? How did you get it? You went to the bathroom, came back in, they gave it to you? All right, cool.
There you go.
All right, there's shirts. There are real shirts out there. A big deal for Concrete Genie. Obviously, their first shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wear them with pride.